video, I will be explaining how to make the matrix operations using R. Let's start with the scalar multiplication. And for the scalar multiplication, we are going to be using the same symbol that we use for the usual multiplication of numbers, the key star in your computer. If, for example, you want to multiply 5 by this matrix, open R and type the matrix. So you need to enter the matrix. For entering the matrix, it will be a good idea to give a name to the matrix. Because if you give a name and you need to make another operation, this matrix will be in the memory of your computer and it will be easy for R to use the matrix later. For example, call the matrix A and use the function for matrix. So I'm going to type A equal matrix, and I'm going to use all the numbers 3, minus 6, 5, minus 4, etc. All the numbers in the order that I have already explained in the previous video. Yeah? So you type 3, minus 6, 5, minus 4, 2, 1, 0, 5, negative 2, 3, 12, negative 8. From top to the bottom, from left to right. And don't forget to type at the end as a second argument the number of rows and the number of columns. Close bracket, and the matrix is already typed, but now you need to enter the matrix in the memory. Press enter. As soon as you press enter, you notice that appears another symbol of like greater than. R is ready for you to type any other function or any operation. So in this case, we are going to multiply 5 times the matrix, so 5 times 8. That's the reason why it's good to give a name for the matrix. So obviously you can type also 5 times matrix and type everything. It will be a good idea to use a name because now you can type 5A. Or if you're going to make another operation with this matrix, now you don't need to type the matrix again. Anytime that you type A, R will be using this matrix. Okay, in this case, we're going to multiply just 5 times 8. So we type 5 times 8 and press enter. You press enter, R will give you the answer of this multiplication. So you can type the answer here. 5 multiplied by this matrix, it will be this matrix. Okay, let's do another operation, the addition. And for the addition, again, the same symbol for the usual addition of numbers, the plus sign. So assume that, for example, we have these two matrices. The first that you need to do is enter the two matrices. You can separate the two matrices with a semicolon. So type the first matrix, let's call it A. So A will be equal to, then combine 3 minus 6, 5 minus 4, etc. All the elements of this matrix. And then type the other matrix with another name, B. Separate with a semicolon the two matrices and press enter. If you do that, R have the two matrices in the memory. And now that you have these two matrices, you can make operation with them. The first thing that I'm going to see is check if I type it well. So a good idea that is also a good idea, because maybe here the matrix is written in a very different way. So if you see as an arrangement of row and columns, you can recognize if you type it well or not. For that reason, I'm going to type A semicolon B and press enter. If I do that, R show me the two matrices. And now I can compare the two matrices that I have in the problem, and I notice that I don't make any mistakes. So this is actually the two matrices we have at the beginning. If I want to add together the two matrices, or if I want to make a subtraction, so I just need to type A plus B or A minus B. In this case will be A plus B, so I type A plus B and press enter. And here is the answer of the addition of the two matrices. So I can type that the sum of these two matrices is this matrix. You can check actually that you have made that R is working well, yeah? So 12 plus 0, for example, 12 of this 1 plus this negative 3, I know that is negative 2, etc. Okay, and again, if you are making a subtraction, it will be the same. So if you have the two matrices and you don't need to type it again. R is already ready for you to enter whatever argument or function. So you can enter a minus b. Of course, it will be a good idea to give a number also to the subtraction. Maybe you are going to use this later. So this is another way. If you want to give a name to the subtraction, you can say d, for example. This will be the matrix d. D will be equal a minus b, and press enter. If you do that, D will be in the memory. You can give another name, not necessarily D. You can call it E or F, for example. So I call it D, just for remember that this is the different. And if I want to see D, just press D and enter. So press enter, and you're going to see the answer. So that will be A minus B. So in this case, I give this a name, but it's not necessary. You can type A minus B and enter, and you see the answer. Okay, now we know that the difference of these two matrices is this matrix. And you can check that 3 minus 7 is negative 4, or these 2 minus 5 is negative 3, or that this negative 2 minus 9 will be negative 11, etc. That will be an easy way to solve the difference of two matrices. For the multiplication, again, something similar, but the symbol for the multiplication will be different of the usual star. If this is a matrix multiplication, let's see how to make a matrix multiplication. For the matrix multiplication, we are going to use a star, but enclosed between two percent symbols. So if you have, for example, two matrices, this and this, and you see that these two matrices you can multiply because the number of columns of the first one is the same of the number of rows of the second one. So type the two matrices, put in a name. For example, I'm going to call A1 the first one. Type the matrix. Don't forget to type at the end the side of the matrix, and the second matrix I'm going to call it A2. And don't forget the side of the second matrix is 3, 3. So close the bracket and enter. Now A1, the first matrix, and A2, the second matrix, they are in the memory of your computer. And R can use it any moment. But before making the multiplication, I would like to see if I type it well, the two matrices. So just to see if I type it well, you can, if you want to see the matrix actually, how they are, you can type A1 and the semicolon between the two matrices, A1, A2, and a semicolon between two. The same as you do when you enter the two matrices, you separate them with the semicolon. So do it again here if you want to see the matrix A1, A2, and just press enter. I'll show you the two matrices. Now you can check that you did it well. Obviously, you don't need to do that. You can multiply the two matrices immediately. Just in case that you want to see the matrix, just to be sure that you type it well. Okay, just type now A1 multiplied by A2, but the multiplication in this way. The star enclosed within 2% symbols. So A1 multiplied by A2 and press enter. So that will give you the multiplication. You can check that this is by hand, that this is well done by hand. Obviously will be a lot of work. But this, for sure, this will be a multiplication of the two matrices. So we can write that the answer is this matrix. 9, 17, 45, negative 32, negative 45, and so on. Okay, so this is a multiplication. The other operation that we have already studied is the transpose. The transpose in R, it will be a function, as in Excel. T is the function for transpose. So, and this transpose, we have only one argument. So inside, we have a matrix. So we have already entered A1 and A2, so we don't need to enter again. So this one will be A1, this is A2, and actually this one is A1, A2. So if you want to see the transpose of A1, the only that you need to do is type TA1. So let's type TA1 and TA2 to see the transpose of A2 also. So if you want to see this, you can press enter. Obviously, you can use it in any other operation. So press enter and you see the two transpose. This will be, the first one will be the transpose, so the first transpose that you type, T of A1. And this second transpose, it will be the transpose of the second. And even if you want, for example, to see the transpose of A1, A2, you can type T of A1 multiplied by A2, obviously with the multiplication sign that we know is the one that we use in R, the star within two percent signs. Okay, and then type enter, and you will see the transpose of this matrix. Now the first column of this matrix is now a row in the transpose, and you can type all the answers. So this is the transpose of A1 that we obtained it here. This will be the transpose of A2 that we obtained it here. And finally, this is the transpose of A1, A2. So if I need to solve A1, A2 transpose, the only that I need to do is enter A1, enter A2, and compute the transpose of this. Remember, the transpose will be a function with only one argument. If a function has several arguments, you need to separate the argument with comma, like matrix, for example, that have the argument of the entries that you need to combine. You need to enter the number of rows, and you need to enter the number of columns. Matrix is a function of 3 arguments, but transpose is a function of only one argument. There is no comma in the middle of the arguments. So there is only one argument. Okay, so what to do if we have an expression with several operations? For example, this one that we already solved it. We already solved it by hand in one video. We solved it using Excel in another video, and now in this video we're gonna solve it using R. If you need to do that, then you will need to enter the two metrics that you have. For example, this A is a matrix that you have. When you enter this matrix, type 2, 1, 2, 0, -2, 3. So I'm going to type matrix A equal matrix and the elements and the number of rows and number of columns, and then also the matrix B, the number of row and number of columns. That is, this is a 2 by 2 matrix, and press enter. As soon as you enter, you have the two metrics in the memory of R, so you can use it immediately. You can type, for example, 3 multiplied by A transpose multiplied by A. Remember, for these 3 we have just a scalar multiplication, because this 3 is multiplying this matrix, but between these two we have a matrix multiplication. Here we have the transpose of A, so you can type 3 times the transpose of A times A minus 4 times B times B. Remember, B squared is B times B. You can download some package that allow R to use power for matrices, but I will be explaining this later in another video. So far, for making B squared, what I'm going to do is B times B, and then press enter. As you enter, you're going to see the answer immediately. So immediately, you can see how much we spent solving this by hand if you see the video of the operation of matrices. Or you can also check how long we spent solving this using Excel. I think it was a little longer, but this is pretty fast. Okay, and with that I finished my explanation of this elementary operation of matrices using R. For sure, in other videos I will be giving you how to make other things related to metrics using R. So let's finish the explanation for now, and I hope you have found it useful. Thank you.